actors have a lot of questions they want to ask agents, and in fact, the relationship between actors and agents is quite one of the most mysterious things I think in the working world, because a lot of young actors think that they kind of owe the agent something. Like if the agent gets you on board, so I owe you for representing me. It's actually not the case at all. It's like, you are a blessing to them. You're a solution for them. They're looking for someone with your face or your look and your kind of style and your ability, so that they can make a buck, so that they can support their business. And when you come to the board, you always have to be like, I'm a solution to your problem, not like, oh, can you please represent me? I want to be a superstar. And I only kind of learned that in the last 5 years. But before then, all my agents had kind of been desperate attempts to get people to do stuff for you. And anyway, so the notes, I think I had like questions like, what does it look like? What do you expect of me, basically, as like a talent on your books? What do you expect of me? And that was just like, open communication and stuff like that. So it was easy. What kind of roles I think are coming through in the briefs, because the briefs are what the agents get. They can't control what briefs come in. So there'll be 100 different briefs in a few weeks. And, if most of them are for either women or for men who don't look like me, then I can't really go forward for them. So I just said, are there roles out there that are coming in that you can kind of think about that would match, I guess, my frame or whatever kind of you imagine. And they're like, yeah. And I have a few other questions, can't remember. Voiceover work, voiceover is getting quite big, video games especially. I'm all set up for that here. And I just said, do you have any of that happening? And they said, yeah, we've got a kind of lot of plans to contact a few game companies this coming year, after coronavirus has ended, and try and establish, I guess, a bigger market for that in their own agency, which is exciting. And just notes about why I want to come to New Zealand, why I've contacted them, the things they've said on their website that I really appreciated that I wanted to expand on. I just kind of did my research, very small amount of research. And she said to me, she's like, it's actually puzzling because a lot of actors come to these conversations and they have no idea what they want to talk about. They don't know what they're doing. And it could be quite confusing for us agents because we're like, well, you're kind of in charge of your own career, that you look like you're completely out of whack with what you want. And I basically said, look, I've got a lot of notes. These are my ideas. And we did a lot of talk about overseas representation. And if you're a New Zealander and you're an actor, that your career probably isn't going to all be established within the local community, within the local districts and regions. This might be boring for a lot of people, but the truth of it is that you need to have kind of international representation, or you have to have those contacts. You have to be getting into the American market or the Australian market, and Kiwis are so lucky, man, because Kiwis, we're exposed to so many different of those markets growing up. We're exposed to that great British television, the British dramas that we grow up.
That's true.
Friends is like a cult classic for Kiwis. Like everyone grows up watching Friends. And Australian stuff is there. It's not as big, but Kiwis are very involved from a very young age. If you're watching TV as a kid, you already learn how to do an American accent, how to do a British accent by the time you get to 20, because you just heard it so many times you can kind of do it. That's not how easy it is, I'll say it right now, but that's kind of the thing. It's like, I have an idea, I've heard it so many times. That's kind of the goal. And I've already got representation here in the UK, in London, so I'm all set up here. And I just said, look, I think we should try and focus on the international angle, because you've already got someone who's got international rep over here, and you do have to kind of back yourself. I said things like, there have been British actors here, and I've beaten them out on British-speaking roles as a Kiwi. You have to acknowledge that you've been actually competing with regional talent who know the dialogue and the accent backwards and forwards. It's just who they are. And you have to say, I've been beating them out, and I've been getting those roles ahead of them as a young, new talent or Kiwi. And that's just, you have to really back yourself. You have to have so much confidence. You can't be meek. You can't be wary or worried. And it's the same with sport. If you're on the court or the field or wherever you are, you just got to think you're awesome, or you really got to at least believe in your own abilities. Maybe you don't think you're awesome, but you have to believe that you can do it and that you can achieve beyond what you even expect of yourself.